dropped the episode in the middle of the week, so we took a week off, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So we had things to do.
My dad died, so I went, went to go say goodbye.
Yeah, he had to go say bye. Keenan had to go wipe his nose. Or
I was on vacation.
Oh yeah, how'd the vacation go?
How was that vacation?
With all that water.
How was the vacation?
That was her birthday with her plans.
Vacation was good though. It was she went parasailing by herself, just so. But here's the thing: she had to go parasailing by herself because there was only a single where we was out on the beach. Our Airbnb was fire, and it had like four. It was right off the beach. It had 4 pools, and then the parasailing dude only had 1 seat, so it was only for 1 person anyways.
So you lucked out.
Yes. But no, after I saw, because I took a video of her taking off, I could have did it. I was like, all right, I can do this. So if there was a 2-seater, I probably would have did it. At least that's what I told her. But other than that, like traveling, like,
I was traveling with a woman.
I think traveling with a woman tests you as a man. I think it tests your physical strength because you're gonna be carrying all the bags. I tell you that.
Oh shit!
And I hear this from most men too. I even hear this from lesbian couples. It's just like women. It's funny, like the girl, even with lesbians, like the girls, like they don't want to when they're with their girls, like on a girls trip. They got the ultimate strength. For some reason, they can carry all their bags. They can put their luggage on their goddamn back and backpack through a whole city. But when they what they do, all of a sudden everything's heavier. My book bag is just too. Could you carry my book bag? It's like I'm carrying both our suitcases already. My book bag. I gotta carry your book bag and your purse. Like, why don't you carry this? Help.
How are you traveling? Are you a take all the luggage, Keon?
Me?
You'll grab all. I'm grabbing all the luggage. You take the kids.
I can't even remember the last time I traveled with all of them.
Even with I want to say even with just you and Cody.
Well, when we drive somewhere, I mean, I unload the car. I
unload the car.
Yeah, I don't really count that. I think a plane is
you load
different.
the car. I'm a you pack. I'll load. I unload. You unpack.
No, I be packing too.
Yeah,
I just tell you just pack your stuff.
Yeah,
I do
exactly.
mine and the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause if I let her pack, she's going to bring everything we have in this house.
Oh, okay.
Like even with the kids, they need this, they need that. No, they don't, bro. We're just going to my mom's so I pack their bag, I pack mine, I pack super light, and she packs whatever. Cause we used to share suitcases, and that lasted like 1 trip.
I'm about to say that's dunzo.
And I was like, no, you don't need all this.
Depending where we're going, I can wear 2 pair of jeans the whole trip. We're only going for 4 days too. What I need 4 pair of jeans for?
Yeah, I don't need all that. So no, I'm a light packer, but carrying the stuff, I mean, the boys like carrying their own bags. So they had their little Willie bag, so, you know what I mean? And I'll push the big ones. She be carrying like the food and stuff, I guess.
Yeah. So there is kind of a dynamic.
Yeah. But I don't know, I never think about it.
Yeah.
I get annoyed because I'm always just like this when it comes to, like you said, packing too. It's just like, I know you don't need all this stuff.
No.
Half of the things that you pack, you're not going to wear or put on. And
We have to have options.
And it's just like, no, we don't. Where we going? We're going to eat dinner. Okay, I'm gonna pack a nice outfit for that, and then everything else is like we're relaxing, right? I got my beach shorts here and there, my hoochie daddy shorts, whatever you want to call them things. I got my shorts, and I got my sandals for the beach, and we straight. Like I don't need to overpack anything.
Especially because on vacation, I guess for us, we travel so much, we realize you have all these plans, but at the end of the day, you ain't finna do shit. Like you're gonna do a few things,
Depends.
but you're not gonna be doing all this stuff where you need. Like every time I pack, I pack light.
Yeah.
Even when I'm like, I know I'm gonna go to the gym every day. Even that, I wear the same shirt, the same. Like, I was like, I didn't need this extra shirt. I didn't need
I'm a big sink washer. Like I wash my shit
Really?
in the sink. Yeah.
In the 1800s.
Yeah. and then I roll it up into a towel, and then I put my foot on the towel and stretch it out, and then wring it, and that's how you get it dry quicker. I've been on the road, y'all.
Dirty
y'all don't do comedy on the road.
Got it down to a dirty ass science.
Yeah, right. Do a dirty ass
though.
science.
It works.
Yeah, but I don't really. This lady, as you complain, this lady in the comment, I wish I could remember what she said verbatim. But she was like, I don't understand how guys all complain about women, but then date the same kind of women. She was like, I guess she was saying that she's more like a guy, and guys don't want to date her because she's so low maintenance and blah blah. And I was like,
attractive?
don't believe you.
Is she attractive?
I didn't look at her pictures.
Okay.
I don't be looking.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
But I don't believe every girl I know who says I'm like a guy. They're not like a guy.
They're not a guy.
They might not be different from other girls,
right.
but you're not like a dude.
You're
not like a dude.
I think
studs don't even be like dudes all the time.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I think women are more fluid, dipping into their whatever masculine energy and their feminine energy. So like now I'm starting to just like conclude.
What the fuck?
Shit. We gotta move. Damn.
The lady was saying that, yeah, I'm like a dude and nobody wants to do that. And then some other girl co-signed it, like, yeah, guys don't really want girls who are low maintenance. And I was like,
that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, what is their low maintenance? Their low maintenance still might be high maintenance or mid maintenance.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Every girl that I know that'd be like, I act like a dude. At the core, no, you don't. You might be more, like he said, masculine energy than the average woman.
Yeah.
But you do not act like me.
Let me tell you something.
You definitely don't act like me.
Women don't listen to men enough to know how men act. to know they don't listen well enough to men to know how men to say they act like men, because you're going off a caricature of what you think a dude is, or what you think how a dude should act in your eyes. But it's not how a man actually acts. Like like this is the reason why a lot of times dudes don't have women in their group texts, because it's like the way we act, you're not going to survive in that.
Oh, our group texts
are vicious.
Brutal.
So you can't tell me you act like a dude. Like I would say there's some girls that we're cool with that I'd be like, I like to take them on the road because, I feel like they can hang. But then I was like, if we put them in a group chat, though,
yeah, they tapping out.
They're tapping out.
And then I saw another comment. It was like, you guys are talk about women always being in their feelings or a lack of accountability, but then talking about what women do. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, you must be new to the episode. We constantly talk about what we did to either heighten the situation or adjustments we need to make. So I'm like, I don't know what show you're watching.
Yeah.
But we constantly point the finger here. And just because we're complaining about something, having an opinion on something isn't necessarily being in your feelings.
Right. Well, that's the thing. That's why, and this is why I think men don't like expressing themselves around and towards women, and even sometimes towards dudes. It's because of stuff like this. It's like, as soon as a man opens his mouth about something that he doesn't like, now we're complaining about something, or we're emotional. It's just like, see, we can't even, when we even say something, we're like, I don't really like that. It's just like, why are you being such emotional? You're being dramatic. It's just like, I can't even, when I talk, I'm dramatic now? Like, how does that even make any sense? So it's like, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of, like, this is why I said, like, they don't listen well. Because if you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw these comments, I was like, what are you hearing?
Yeah.
What are you hearing? When you watch, how is the information coming into your brain?
So this is my thought process when it comes to that. I think women hear us, but they don't listen well. They hear what we're saying, they hear that we're talking, but they don't listen to what we're actually saying, or to be able to put in, he's being emotional, being a baby about something, or he's just being like, yo, let me just be expressive because I'm having I just want to talk about this or whatever the case may be. So I think they hear it, but they don't listen well. That's always kind of been my opinion on it. And it's been served correct so far. It's like, stuff like this, it's like they've literally proved me correct all the time.
Well, if you're talking caricatures, in the past, men didn't say much. So I think even listening to men is a fairly new thing for women.
I'll give you that.
So it's something that they're trying to adapt to and understand that I don't give a fuck what like the circumstances are. Like women are gonna lead with their feelings. They're gonna lead with their feelings. They're like heavy pathos driven. Like you have to tap into a woman's like emotional state
before you can, Gary.
Before you can be truthful. So if you're truthful, it's gonna hurt her feelings. Then nigga, you need to alter whatever that truth is into a way where it's palatable.
And that's what I'm saying. They can't be men because we could be truthful and be like, all right, that was a shot, but you're right, dog.
Yeah. And
I can take that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Nigga, I got annihilated in the group chat, nigga. I asked a question and these niggas.
Nobody annihilated this dude.
He
asked a fair question about, I don't know if he wants to talk about it or not. He can bring that up and talk about it. But like, it's like, yeah, he asked a fair question and he wanted honest answers from us.
Yeah, and I got it. But I just took it. I was like, all right, fair enough. I asked.
I don't think anybody was being rude or mean.
Nah.
We said things
He
that
was being sarcastic.
Not even just that. I think we said things that were kind of said to him before.
Yeah, but my thing is with wording. I'm real big on wording, like as you can tell from this episode, right? So I'm like, if you're using words and that's not the definition, to me, by definition, you just called me something else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If that's not what you meant. So like when Tony changed it and then DC was like, that's what I meant.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's not what you used 8 years ago or whatever. And that's why I took offense to what you
Right.
said.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, that was a big thing.
Yeah, because I was like, if you don't use stuff correctly, I only can take what you said.
Right.
So then when Tony corrected it, it was like that. I was like, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But what you said, I don't feel that is accurate.
And he stood by it.
Right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so like, I'm real big on like use the right words to. That's what they're for. We use words to describe shit.
But there's words and then there's intention. Like,
Which is fine. So, but then explain what you mean. So, DC was still using the wrong word. Tony explained what he meant. Then DC was like, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, that's fine. Like
Yeah.
that's. I
I
understand
think
that.
the definition of everything has changed now. I think, especially with the new generation of social media, whatever the definition of a word was, it's not that definition anymore. It's just whatever that word means, whatever how you feel at that moment.
how it makes you feel.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like if that word makes me feel a certain way, it's like I'm an advocate for. I feel like everybody is somewhat of a narcissist, right? And I know that's like a big thing that people are like, well, no, that's not. I'm like, yo, if you look at the definition of a narcissist, that is the majority of us, and we might not be it all the time, and I think there's levels.
What's
to
the
it.
definition?
I gotta look it up.
Stop using that word, nigga.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't know the definition.
to give you the actual definition, but it's just like,
How it makes you feel, though.
yeah.
The
So
word narcissist makes a person feel a type of
well,
way.
it's a negative word. If you call somebody a narcissist, they're going to the extreme of what it means, and it's just like, you know, it's essentially it's like it's some selfishness in there and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and it's just
Lack
like
of empathy.
yeah, and it's like that's the majority of us. The majority
Lack
of
of
us has some type
accountability.
of selfishness. A good amount of us don't have full accountability. We might be accountable at times, but the majority of us are not fully accountable for everything that we do.
Right.
So I think there's levels of narcissism.
But it's
ahead.
also hard to be. Accountability is difficult because it's hard to just say, I was wrong about that.
It is.
Because
Yeah.
motherfuckers always want to go off into the tangent of like why I made this decision. It's like, no, just end it with I was wrong, and you know I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah.
You got to go into the whole, well, I couldn't get no babysitter to take care of my kids and that. Like you're gonna go into the whole like details of the shit. It's like that's not accountability. Accountability is just like saying, oh yeah, I fucked up. I'm gonna work on it.
Right.
Like there's something, and I think that's a part of trust too. You gotta to be accountable. You got to be around like. You can be accountable to people that you trust, who's not gonna like weaponize it and use it against you.
Yeah.
Right. And so a narcissist is a person who has excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. That is a lot of people. Right.
Well, see, the key word there is excessive.
Yeah, but I still even think the excessiveness of like everybody was just I gotta do me. I'm about me. I'm doing what I gotta do for me. F y'all. It's about my life. It's about me. I'm doing what I gotta do for me from now on. And I think, I guess now what's the level of excessive to people? It's like, what would you consider excessive?
Blaming others for all of
yeah.
your problems.
If it's for everything,
everything, nigga.
Yeah.
I know people who blame others for every fucking thing. It's never them.
Yeah.
Ever them.
Let me ask you this then: to start a fight, in a sense, who's more narcissistic, men or women?
Well, what's the full definition?
Women.
Is this what it says? It says a person who is excessive interest and admiration of themselves.
Women are more
Narcissists
narcissistic.
who think the world revolves around them.
Oh, well then.
Women. Easy.
Ah.
I'm gonna say women.
You gonna say women?
Because women lean on their partner in a whatever heterosexual dynamic on their men for them to feel a type of way.
Right.
So it's like I'm not as a like if I were a woman, like I'm not in full control of my feelings. I feel how he makes me feel. I don't like that you make me feel. I hate that you make me feel X, Y. You know what I mean?
I think you're narcissistic. I lean towards women too. I think it's here. I think it's men here, women here. But it's like if you just look at dating and how dating goes, it's just like you walk into a date. I'm the prize. You're not the prize. This is about me. Woo me. You're taking me out. You're wasting my time. I'm giving you. Be lucky that I'm even here with you. That's how a majority of women go out on dates. It's just like, all right, I'm here. Pretty much do what you got to do to impress me. This is about me. This is my world. You want in my world, right? You want in my world in a sense. Do what you got to do, playboy.
That's kind of funny. I was talking to somebody about that. I was like, if I were a woman and I was an attractive woman, that would be my approach on a date. Nigga, I will go there and I will basically like sit down and shut the fuck up.
Work with this
What's
pussy.
your pitch? What's the
your
pitch,
opinion?
nigga?
Listen, man. So I think in that sense, like, but like I said, I'm not saying women are way more narcissistic. I do think it's right here and here. I would say white women are the most narcissistic, and white men are right below them, and then it goes to other people after that.
That's
For
funny.
sure.
That's funny.
So it's just like, I mean, but I think those two for sure are at the top. Is white men and white women when it comes to narcissism is way up there. And
Well,
then
yeah, once it said the world revolves around you, I was like, oh yeah, that's them, for sure.
yeah, well, yeah. So
The
it's
white
like,
women and white men, for sure.
for sure. It's just like literally white women, they'll be like, they're gonna try to fight this, and if they ever clip this or whatever, they'll be like, how could you say that? That's what a man would say. That's why it's narcissistic. It's just like, y'all literally have jumped into every group, every movement, and made it about you. Sounds like narcissism to me. You jump into LGBTQ, you jump into black, you jump into Russia, you jump into the Asian hate, and you made it about you.
But I also think a part of narcissism is a level of confidence, and a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people are extremely insecure. Because isn't it said like excessive something about
Yes.
like confidence?
No, it says nothing about confidence.
What does it say?
It says a person who has excessive interest in or admiration of themselves.
Admiration. That's confidence.
Okay, I get,
Yeah.
okay, that's fair. How can you tell if someone is narcissistic? Lives in a fantasy world, supports their own delusions of grandeur. That is a woman.
Oh, you fucked up. That's cold game. That nigga cold.
Ladies, I'm sorry.
That's cold.
They're defining you here. This is not my definition.
That's cold.
Did we talk about this before? Did we literally have this discussion about how we live in reality and women live in a fantasy land about how the thought process goes? We live in how the world is, and how women live in how the world should be. That's a fantasy, right?
And a part of that makes them good.
No, exactly. That's why when you look at them, it's like they're technically
They have hope.
They have exactly.
Yeah.
They have the right mindset in that sense, but you also have to have a balance with reality in that. And I think a good amount of women don't have the balance in that. Some do. I'm not saying all women don't. The women out there that understand, like, no, whatever the case may be. But it's like, for the most part, they go like, well, I should be able to do this, and that's how the world should be. It's just like, I mean, if you do any type of history, the world's never been that way.
Yeah, the
It's
optics of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of how it should be and how they should feel within that world.
Right.
I think a lot of shit is predicated by like what is sort of the illusion of a feeling, like I should feel this way. Like I think a lot of a huge misconception about marriage is a lot of women get married, they have the event,
Yeah.
and then afterwards they're like, oh, I thought it was gonna be, this is it? This is
Yeah.
what being married is?
Well, it's not
I thought
even.
it would feel something, different, something
Well,
stronger.
it's fed to them.
Right.
Like, it's fed to them in
They're
books
conditioned,
and,
yeah.
and fairy tales and and all this just different things. It's like how marriage should be. And I was having this thought the other day about like, like marriage is exactly what these two people say it is. That's all it is. It's nothing. My marriage is not going to be like Keon's, yours, and vice versa, right? It's just like, all right, I might look at some things that y'all might do and be like, I like that. And I might present it to my lady and see if she fucks with it or not. And she might be like, nah, I'm not really with that. It's all right, cool. That's not going to be in our thing. But it's like, I think most people that even get married in that sense, they get married and they go like, all right, what society told them what marriage is, they never even have a discussion about their marriage. They just be like, well, this is supposed to be marriage.
Right.
And it's just like, no.
There's no
marriage is
training
what-
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not trained on it.
We're not trained. We're not even just being trained on it. I don't know how you train somebody really for marriage
can't.
when you might be your marriage might be like, yo, we down to be open. We want to bring people in and smash people together. But traditionally, it's just like that's a hella no. So it's like I think there needs to be more of an honest discussion between the people at the two
And
parties.
then also just with a reevaluation of it at certain points, like because
agree.
you may go into it with a certain energy and a vibe and a connection, and then shit may change.
Yeah.
Where you gotta come in. All right, let's have a discussion. I think there should be like yearly evaluations about.
I agree with that.
Like, okay, so this is where it is.
Relationships.
This
Yeah.
is where we thrived this past year. Next year, let's work on, et
Right.
cetera, et
Especially
cetera.
at your ages. Some people get
Yeah.
married, you're 23. You're not going to be the same person at 33
Yeah.
that you were at 23. So
Exactly.
you always have to constantly reevaluate and make changes and things of that nature. But
being
like, and
open
like
to
you said,
change.
yeah, and like you said, everybody's shit's going to be different. And I think what you were saying, I mean, they have these, this is supposed to be this, whereas we're fed, nigga, this is going to be a grind. Nigga, like
Yeah.
every dude, when you talk to dudes about marriage, it's like,
Man.
nigga,
Yeah.
like, they'll be like this, and then they'll bring, like,
Yeah.
how we're presented marriage by other men is just like,
Bro.
you got to eat shit
In
pretty
my-
much, and It
Yeah.
is what
Also,
it is,
mind you
bruh.
that like we're a little more evolved just because our minds and what we do, we think a little differently. Imagine just like the ordinary, like average 9 to 5 dude and his approach. Like we know how to manipulate situations and shit. Like how me and Keenan were talking about in the car, like how a woman can come home and carry the energy from work home, and why we as men tend not to do that is
Yeah.
because we're still consciously like trying to smash.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna come home on a negative vibe at 5 o'clock, nigga, and like fuck up the pussy like early. Like
We got
no.
until 8 to close this deal, maybe 9 to close this deal.
Yeah, I'm not about to come. I'm not about to come home and cuss you out because I got cussed out at work. Now I'm still trying to smash.
Yeah.
Right.
But women don't. You know, they're these are my feelings.
Yeah, and then they're not just necessarily coming home to try to smash their
Right.
frustrations away too. So they're coming home to like get it out, and it's fair in that sense too. It's just like you should be not my scapegoat, but like somebody I can unload on. That's what we're kind of here for. That's how they might look at us in a certain sense. So
Yeah, I've kind of had a sort of a reevaluation of therapy where, in that sense, like it has its value, because I didn't realize, because I'm pretty transparent about like anything. I can talk about anything with anybody, but not knowing the effect that it may have on them. Like I imagine, you know, if I'm kind of into my feelings and into my like thoughts, or if I'm like depressed, or if I'm having like extreme lows, and I reveal that to my partner, she may take that as like, oh, I'm doing something wrong if he's like depressed. I'm
Right.
not on my shit. I'm not doing essentially like my duty as his you know, as his partner.
well, it's good to see after like 18 episodes you can't run therapy. 'Cause
So I
Gary,
just need somebody like, yeah.
No, 21 episodes.
27 episodes,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Because
I
Gary
need-
was shitting on therapy.
I need a-
I
yeah,
don't
I need a-
understand why there's even a need for
I
this
need an
bullshit.
unbiased ear, you know, somebody who's is not gonna internalize, you know, what I say,
Yeah.
and be like, oh well, you know,
Because
whatever.
even though Keon wasn't necessarily jumping for joy to go to therapy, Keon was kind of like, oh, I understand it. It makes
Yeah, I
sense.
wanna go.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
I did understand couples therapy.
Yeah.
I was on board with that, but like my own shit, I'm like, nah, man, if I'm
No, I want to go on my own shit just for that reason, because you can't. It's a person who doesn't know you at all.
mm-hmm.
If you talk to your friends, there's history there. If you talk to your siblings, there's history there. If you talk
Right.
to your spouse, there's history there. They can't be fully objective when you have a history.
right,
So even if you're trying to make a change, you're not a person, but they still remember that person or whatever. So
Yep.
you talk to that or the therapist, they just like, nigga, I don't know you.
yeah,
I'm just taking everything you say at face value.
Yeah.
And then you get a better assessment from them. Well, it sounds like this, or
Exactly.
well, in my opinion, feels like you're doing this, and they have no reason to take a side. They have there's nothing invested in them, for them. So that's why I think everybody should go,
Yeah.
just to talk to that person and get an unbiased opinion of who you are.
like if you broke, if I'm hella broke, and then I tell you like I'm broke as fuck, and then I walk in next week with a pair of $200 shoes,
Right.
you're like, nigga,
Yeah.
ain't you broke? You need to, you know what I'm saying? So if I I feel more comfortable telling that to a therapist,
Yeah.
so I don't have to face that judgment the next week at least. You
Yeah.
know, it doesn't have an effect on our relationship.
But then they can also do it. You walk into the therapist's office with the $200 shoes. He'd be like, I thought you said you was broke.
Yeah.
But you won't be offended
Right,
that he said
right,
it. But with
yeah.
me,
That's
you'd
your
be like,
job.
this nigga always on my
Yeah,
ass.
yeah.
But him, he'd be like,
Yep.
oh, I guess
I guess you're right about that. I
Yeah.
should about the. I'll take them back.
Because there's been so many instances where people be like, whether you're a spouse or a friend, somebody gets some information from somebody else and bring it to the space, and you be like, I told you that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But they didn't hear it from you.
Yeah.
That right there
They didn't hear
might
from
be
you.
the cause of a lot of destructions in relationships right there. If I tell you some mess and somebody else tells you and you come to me like it's new information, I want to slam my head against the wall. That is frustrating.
Well, yeah. Well, if they can't hear you because their feelings is blocking it, then that's another discussion.
Yeah, the emotional connections and involved in relationships with people is why, a therapist would be good just to get that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn.
And then a stranger not gonna give a shit. Like you can get shit from strangers, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they're like, and they ain't got no, they don't.
Right.
Know. They
no
just
professional background.
they got their own shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they
saying?
also since they kind of studied it, they can classify certain things probably a lot quicker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling Gary in the car about it when I was talking about therapy. I was saying like how, I always kind of was like, my brother and I were close in a relationship, but we always had issues with authority in a sense because we're only 17 months apart, but he treated me like he was like 15 years older than me because my dad put him into a parental figure position. And I would always get frustrated. Like I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Even when I got older, he would kind of talk to me a certain way. And my therapist is like, do you understand? Like your brother never asked to be an adult as a child. Like
He also never asked to be taller than you.
Yeah. All that stuff.
Naturally, as the taller sibling, I have authority.
I have authority. But like my dad put him in that position because it's like, yo, I'm a single parent and I need somebody to be that figure, and you're the oldest, so that's your job. So he kind of went about that for like a very long time, like he was the adult out of us two, and it's like, bro, we're 17 months apart. Like you don't know that much more than me. But then I saw how the older we got, how our roles started to become. I kind of went into this role. He kind of went into a better leadership role than I was. It took me a while to become a leader, and he was like, I can't say he was a natural born leader. My dad put him in a position to lead. You know what I'm saying? And so I never looked at it from that. I never looked at it from his standpoint that he probably didn't even want that, in a sense of like having to be an adult. And I told him around like 15, 16, I think he started to enjoy it. Like, yeah, nigga, like, I'm a second father. Like, yeah, I'm your daddy.
I got kids.
Yeah, so now he understood what it came with. So he kind of started to enjoy the role, which made it kind of probably even worse because now when you enjoy it, it's like
power. Drunk with power.
Yeah, it's like exactly.
But it's led him to like great places though too.
Led him to have 4 college degrees,
Yeah.
a PhD, and a professor at a university. Yeah, he's doing amazing, and you know I'm doing good now, but I struggled for a very long time.
Being a
it's
little
great.
bro.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a girl. By the way.
Congrats.
Congrats,
Yeah.
man.
That was an argument too. I wasn't as excited as I was supposed to be. She didn't like that I didn't reciprocate her level of excitement.
Were you not excited because it was a girl, or just either way?
No, I wasn't excited. I wasn't excited because I'm not a gender reveal dude. I like to just see the whole, like, wait to the end. I like a surprise. I like a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Just layer all those emotions into one and just, Also, I didn't know she had concluded that she was gonna find out the gender. I thought she was still deliberating, but she told me after the fact that we talked about it, she was like, no, I did kind of tell you that I was gonna find out. I was like, well, it must, just been a miscommunication. So I didn't know she was gonna find out, but.
So was that more your frustration more than anything? Was
It was
that or that you actually found?
I wasn't allowed the time to prepare myself for finding out.
Yeah.
So she and that's what I wanted, because I wanted to be more excited.
Yeah,
and
right.
I was afraid that, which is part of the reason why I didn't want to find out, why I'd never prefer not to find out, because I don't think the reward of finding out before is better than finding out when it comes out.
Right.
Like when it comes out, it's like, oh, this is crazy. This is like 9 months in the making. But she was like, she said she would have kept it to herself. That's, what she intended. But I was like, man, it's goofy as fuck for us to be walking around. One of us knows what it is and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
Now you like sneaking around buying shit for a girl and like trying to keep it from her. I was like, man, it's ridiculous to have to go through all those links just to like save it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, just fucking, we either find out together. So I was more upset that she didn't tell me she was gonna find out.
Right.
So she found out and she's like,
But
do you
she
want to
said
know
she
what it
did.
is?
She said she did though.
Well, I thought she was still pondering. I
Oh,
thought
okay,
once it came, she was like, okay, I thought she would have kind of pulled me in and like, okay, it's here. Do you want to find out or do you want me to just find out?
Got you.
With the document right there.
Got you. That makes sense.
Yeah, so she found out, she's like, do you want to know what it is? And based on the look on her face, like, I already knew.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, go ahead, tell me what it is. And she's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, just tell me. And she was like, it's a girl. I was like, okay, cool. And she was like, what? You're supposed to be, as excited as I am. I was like, well, this is part of the reason why I didn't want to find out, because I knew I figured I would not be like jumping in shit, fucking whatever people do, streamers and all that shit. And it's like, yeah, cool. I'm just happy it's a baby and it's healthy.
And especially, man, knowing what I know now, like, I honestly didn't know having a child. I know everybody calls it a blessing or whatnot, right? I didn't know how difficult it is for a lot of people. Like, trying to have a child.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was like, holy shit.
But you over here busting off.
I know so many couples who are like going, whether it's her body not being able to carry the kids, or like malfunctions that keep happening, or it's him. Like I'm like, Jesus, I didn't know I thought you just bust off and
Yeah.
baby. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And meanwhile, it's people out here struggling.
Yeah,
And
they got to
mean-
time certain days and
Yeah,
get
it's
it, and
a
they
lot.
can't.
Yeah, I got a joke about that, but I think most of it is because we're waiting too late. Like, you're primed for like when you're like 16, 17.
Yeah.
You know, so I think waiting as long as we do makes it a lot more difficult,
Pretty hot as fuck.
Right.
responsibly anyway.
Right. Well, congratulations. We'll end on that happy note. Gary's
Thanks.
having a girl
Yeah.
that he's gonna play devil's advocate with
Man,
her entire life. Poor thing. And where you at this week?
This week, I think when this comes out Saturday, Chocolate Sundays, man. Laugh Factory Chocolate Sundays.
Oh,
I'll
dope,
be there.
dope, dope.
You
hey,
gonna be there too?
Nah, I'll be on a ship in Alaska
Okay.
this weekend.
so pull up.
Bro, I had
If you
somebody
already
hit
got
me.
tickets on the ship,
I made a video about people not paying attention to my schedule. Some dude's like, I'm trying to get tickets to Alaska, to Seattle. I'm like, nigga, I'm getting on it. You didn't see it said Carnival Cruise Line? That's a
Man.
ship. You can't
Yeah.
just get tickets to that show, bro.
just hey man, never give up hope, man. Never give up hope for the general public.
Where you at this weekend?
I'm potty training, man.
Still?
Man,
No, it's gonna be hella long.
dude, we can't get on the same page. We're two individuals. We have not yet formed a team.
Yeah.
We have not fucking merged. We are still two individuals. So,
All these birds. I'm gonna do your fucking job.
and then now he's sick, so we'll see.
Right.
But yeah, that was my goal, just to potty train this week.
All right, bet. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you, and when I be on the road and y'all be like, man, we fuck with the show and
Yeah.
everything like that. I
Much
appreciate
love.
it. Thank y'all so much. And
I want to
continue spread
apologize
and
for
grow.
sitting so gay all the time, but like, this shit is just comfortable. Like, I promise, I love pussy, but this is just a comfortable way to relax.
It's so comfortable.
Sitting gay is so comfortable.
It's so comfortable, man.
All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Oh, I feel